Hi, fourth graders. Welcome back to our second steps lesson. And you can see that our lesson today is about showing compassion. So last week we learned about joining in and how to do that, how to join a group. We talked about how that's a skill you're going to need your whole life because even as adults you do that. And that's true about showing compassion as well. Now let's think about that word compassion. Let's look at these pictures. I noticed that the one person looks kind of sad or disappointed or worried, and the other person kind of has their hand on their shoulder like they're going to maybe do something. I can express concern and show compassion for others. So let's look at a couple more pictures and see if we can get a good description of what compassion is. Look at all these pictures. I notice in the top right corner, there it looks like maybe a big brother, and then there's a little sister who's crying. I notice in the bottom left, there's a nurse or a doctor, and it looks like she's helping somebody who's in a hospital bed. I notice in the middle top, both of the men look kind of worried or disappointed. And in the bottom right, I see somebody looking like they're comforting somebody who's older. What do you think compassion might mean? What do you notice is kind of the actions or the feelings in each of these? If you said they're showing care for somebody who's hurting, or they're showing care for somebody who's feeling maybe kind of a sad or a down feeling, or even sometimes an upset or a mad feeling, you're right. Compassion has to do with feeling for other people, kind of like we talk about empathy, but trying to help them out and trying to make them feel better, or helping them if it's with something like that you can actually do for them. It's that too. Compassion is showing that you care about what's happening to them and you're not just leaving them in that kind of sad or upset state. Compassion is when you do something to show that you feel empathy and you care about how someone feels. That's the way that they put it. All right, so like we normally do, we're going to watch a video, and the two characters are Enrique and Derek, and you're going to be thinking about how do Enrique and Derek feel, and why does Derek want to do something nice for Enrique? Why do you think?
I looked around for my friend Enrique at recess and noticed he was alone looking really sad. I went over and asked him if something was wrong. Enrique told me that his older brother has been working overseas. He was hoping to come home for Enrique's birthday. Just that morning, Enrique found out that his brother's schedule changed and he wouldn't be able to make it home for his birthday. Enrique had been really looking forward to seeing his brother. I knew Enrique was feeling very sad and disappointed. I would have felt the same way if I had been expecting to see one of my special relatives. I wanted to do something nice for Enrique to help him feel better.
Oh, that would be so disappointing and so hard, right? I bet you've maybe had an experience where you felt like Enrique, where you were really hoping for something and then you didn't get to do it. I know I felt that way when we were supposed to go back for blended learning and I was supposed to see some of you in person at school. And then they said we couldn't go back. That was super disappointing and I felt really sad. So, did you hear why Derek wants to do something nice for Enrique? They're friends, right? And he wants him to feel better. He doesn't want him to stay sad. Maybe he'll think of something that he could do for his birthday since his brother's going to miss it. I don't know. Could be an idea for how to show compassion. Sometimes when we see people feeling sad or disappointed or even upset in an angry way, they're kind of embarrassed or they're kind of shy and they don't really want to say what's wrong. So, another way to show compassion is to say something for the other person. So, maybe other kids are like, "What's going on? What's going on? Tell us. Why are you looking so sad?" And maybe you say, "You know what, guys? I can tell that this kid is feeling sad and feeling bad and they don't seem like they want to tell what's going on. Let's just leave them alone for a little bit." Sometimes that can be showing compassion, right? In this case, it seemed like Enrique was kind of glad Derek asked, and it seemed like Enrique wanted to do something with Derek, but that isn't always true. Sometimes kids just want to be left alone, and that can be showing compassion too. If we pester them and ask them over and over again what's going on, sometimes that actually can make them more upset or more frustrated. So we have to be able to read their body language and their emotions in that way too, to see what we should do. All right. So what does it feel like if someone shows you compassion? When you're feeling down, what does it feel like if they are compassionate towards you? Seems like it would kind of lift my spirits, make me feel a little bit better. Even if I'm still sad about the situation, it might make me feel better that the person cares, right? Let's see what happens in our story with Derek and Enrique.
I knew Enrique was feeling very sad and disappointed. I would have felt the same way if I had been expecting to see one of my special relatives. I wanted to do something nice for Enrique to help him feel better. I decided to ask Enrique if he'd like to come over to my house after school. I told him he could be the first person to play my new game. I'm glad I asked him. It seemed to cheer him up.
Oh, what a thoughtful thing Derek did to invite him over, but also to tell him he'd be the first one to play his game. Probably made Enrique feel special again when he maybe felt like he wasn't very special because his brother couldn't come home, right? That was a really thoughtful thing. And I bet Enrique probably feels better or at least happier in some way because of what he did. Can you think of a time when you showed compassion to someone else? Maybe you helped him at recess. Maybe it was someone in your family who was feeling down. How does it make you feel when you show compassion to somebody else? I know when I try to cheer somebody up and make them feel better and show them compassion, a lot of times I feel better too. So I feel like I did the right thing and I did something good for somebody else, and that feels good. I have a couple things that you can practice and think about. You could either think in your head or you could write them down if you'd rather write them. I have two situations, and I want you to think, man, if I was in that situation, what would I do to show compassion? The first one, there's a fifth grader, so somebody a little older than you, and they're teasing a new fourth grade student at recess. Now, I know we don't have recess right now, but you can imagine they're teasing them just outside where you live, too. You tell somebody, the playground supervisor or your parent, you don't know the student very well who's being teased, but as you line up, you notice that they're still looking very upset. What are some compassionate things you could either do for them or you could say to them? So you could either imagine you're at school and the situation's happening, or like I said, it could be happening in your neighborhood. What are some things you could do or say? And then the second one that you're going to think about or write down if you'd prefer is, oh my goodness, your friend is working on an art project. Just as they're finishing up their painting, they accidentally spill their water on it. The water has ruined their painting. What are two compassionate things you could either do or say? I really like how they give the option of doing something or saying something, because sometimes we don't know the right thing to say. We feel bad for them too, but we just don't know what to say. So sometimes doing is easier, or other times we can't think of what to do. And so saying something seems easier. So think about what you would do or say in both of those situations. I'll see you next time for our lesson. Thanks for watching.